record now. So we're recording now. And then there's a chat button. So it looks like Amanda says her camera is not working. FYI. Thank you, Amanda. So there's a chat button. And I would love you to post more. Oh, are we capped at 25 people? Well, that's not cool. Let me think this through here. So Jonathan just said that he'll drop so that more people can join, because apparently we're at 25 people. I was thinking that I could get 100 people on here. I don't want anyone to have to miss out on this.
Is there a cap on the phone line?
Good question. So we could possibly switch to Google Hangout and have people. I wanted everyone to be able to attend on the front end. It's possible that I can get on and upgrade my. Up until now, I haven't used this. I've used it for private groups only. Yeah, looks like Steve Zeller said maxed out. Let me crap. Bad timing. Let me see if I can upgrade rapidly, and see if we can get everyone on. Thank you everyone for your patience. Did not anticipate this one. Let me see what Jonathan's saying. He dropped to save a spot. People can watch recording. Having everyone join a new link could be a mess. Yeah, totally.
Christopher, I'd be happy to drop off though and catch the recording.
Is that Tiffany?
Yes.
Okay.
I can listen to it on audio, Christopher.
Okay. Thank
I
you.
can call in on the phone. I'll drop off and do that, if that'll help.
Let's give that a shot, see if it'll let us have it. Might cap us at 25 viewers. Anyone who it works well to just get on the phone.
I can get on the phone. That's cool.
Perfect. Thank you.
Welcome. Let me just, how do I get out?
I didn't stand there.
I'm leaving the meeting.
Thank you. All right, I guess what we'll do is just hopefully we can get people to call in. I don't think the upgrade's going to happen fast enough. I want to start delivering value to you guys. Audio only, I need the visual, but Amy doesn't. How can I have a friend add to audio only? Okay, so on the login information, or the link and everything, yeah, we got an echo. So unmute yourself. Yes, thank you. So in the group where I posted the login information, if you will have them call in via phone versus clicking on the computer link, then they can listen to audio. Perfect. If we finish soon enough, I would love to share an awesome song with you guys that I thought about sharing earlier today. So if we finish early enough, I'll log on and get that pulled up. So in the meantime, thank you everybody for joining. I invite you to take a few breaths. Just close your eyes, release any tension. I notice some tension in my neck. Just take a few breaths and settle in. Bring yourself fully present. Welcome, Nate, Amanda, such amazing people here. Love and appreciate all of you so much. Jody, Heath, Lydia, Jessica, Marnay, Steve, Katie, Rhonda, Deb, Charlie. Some names I don't, Susanna, Susan. Other names I don't know how to pronounce, and some people on phones that don't have names or faces right now. All right, so let's dive in now. I'm going to be doing some screen sharing and painting some things out or drawing some things out. And so that'll be more helpful to explain and allow this to be more interactive. Everyone see that on your screen where it says My Story? Someone unmute yourself or type in. Let's see.
Yeah, I see it.
Great. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie. Okay, so let me tell you a bit about my story. I was an entrepreneur from an early age. Started my first business when I was 17, fresh out of high school after graduating a year early. Launched my business, had no right being in business, had no education, no skills, no knowledge, no communication abilities, no leadership abilities, no marketing abilities, no sales abilities. I had no communication or negotiation abilities. I had no minimal self-confidence. The only thing I had really going for me was I was incredibly stubborn and incredibly naive. If I had known what I know now, I probably never would have done what I did. Anyway, I launched that business in a long time ago, and I'm going to turn my share off for a minute, and ran that business for 12 years and somehow just found a way through sheer stubbornness to stay in the game and somehow win that game. And basically it was the school of hard knocks. It would have saved me probably a lot of time, money, and energy to do things a different way if I had been less of a rebel, less stubborn, and maybe got some education and some mentorship and guidance. But that was not my chosen path. I was a rebel and just stubborn and nose to the grindstone and plowed my way through and grew that business through my 20s to be a multi-million-dollar business. I had more than $4 million worth of equipment at the age of 29 and was doing millions and millions of dollars worth of work every year and had every toy and material possession you could think of. I had a beautiful wife and a beautiful home and all the stuff that people think they want in life. And some crappy things happened, some very challenging and painful things happened at that time in my late 20s. Went through a divorce, a lot of heartache. My wife and I, basically my wife had an affair and I fell apart and life got really ugly. And the good news was I had massive transformation and breakthrough and realizations about who I really was and about how the world really was, because I realized that I had been seeing the world the way it wasn't and believing that I was seeing the world accurately. And the pain that I was experiencing in my life required that I start to see things differently. So let's fast forward and tie this into what we're talking about today with the economy. I go through the heartache and the divorce. I try to drink myself to death. When that doesn't work, I put a gun in my throat and almost pull the trigger. I have a dialogue. I'm drunk one night. I go to find my best friend and my wife and the people involved. I'm going to go kill them. And that didn't happen. Didn't find them, luckily, and then went home and turned the gun on myself. That was a dark, lonely, scary, miserable, hard time. And I had a conversation that night. It was like whether or not to do it. And ultimately, I just got tired of sitting there. And I was like, I'll come back to this conversation later because I'm sick of sitting here. And so I didn't pull the trigger, not because I was convinced that I wouldn't or that I wasn't ready to, just because I hadn't fully convinced myself whether I was in or out. So I was just having that dialogue while I was holding the gun there, and didn't do it that night. And shortly after, hired a life coach. Whoever just came on, please mute yourself. Thank you. So then I hired the coach, and things that I'd been trying to sort out my entire life started to be sorted out in very rapid order, in a matter of moments. Things were shifting. And, we'd have a 30, 60-minute session, and things that I'd been trying to figure out for decades, I was breaking through in moments. The deepest, scariest, hardest conversations about spirituality, about God, about sexuality, about relationships, about business, about money, about purpose, about all the things that actually mattered. At the time, I was 260 pounds, incredibly unhealthy, had failed at every relationship I had ever attempted, and thought I was a badass, but really looking back, I don't feel like I was as much of a badass as I thought I was. So through the coaching, I discovered I had a passion and purpose, and that there was something bigger in life, and that it was okay for me to do what I loved and follow my spiritual path and make lots of money doing that. That those paths were not mutually exclusive. At one of my sessions with my coach, I went to her and said, I don't know what to do. I really feel called to reach my highest spiritual potential, and I also feel called to really be prosperous in the world. And she was like, well, does it have to be either or? Could you have both? And I had never grasped the idea that maybe that there could be a both in there. I thought it was just one or the other. I was either going to be a monk on a mountain doing whatever monks on mountains do, or I was going to pursue money and be a worldly person. And in that session, I realized it wasn't either or, that it was truthfully about both, and that if I wanted to make the difference that I wanted to make in the world and reach my full spiritual potential, not only was creating money a part of that spiritual potential, being a creator, learning how to source and create and align with the principles that predicate blessings and choice in life, that was part of my spiritual evolution, as well as the difference and contribution I wanted to make in the world was deeply affected by the amount of money that I had. And she helped me to see through new eyes. And my primary spiritual mentor at the time was Jesus, which actually happens to still be. But if you're not a Christian, that's fine. I embrace all masters and awesome people who do amazing things and bring goodness to the world. So don't take it personal. But Jesus was my dude. And at the time she said, and who has a lot of money that you know? And I'm like, Donald Trump. She's like, if you had the money of Donald Trump and the love and the heart and the passion and the genuine integrity and goodness of Jesus Christ, what difference could you make in the world? I was like, holy cow, these were whole new neural pathways forming in my brain, that what a difference I could make if I had massive amounts of funds and a deep love for people and for goodness. And so but finally some things merged in my mind and I realized they could be one and the same. So I went on this deep journey of discovering what was my passion, what was my purpose, what was my mission, why was I here on the planet? And I studied a lot of things like your greatest mess becomes your greatest message. And that you came to teach what you came to learn. Or you can say you came to learn what you came to teach. And so I started looking, what have been my biggest messes? And what have I come to learn that I also came to teach, so that I could, overcome it and then help others overcome it. It's basically like I'm climbing a mountain, you're climbing a mountain, we're all climbing a mountain. And if I happen to have climbed one section of the mountain that you haven't, it makes sense for me to turn around and offer my hand to help you climb that same mountain so that you can make it up the mountain with more ease and grace and simplicity so that we don't all have to reinvent the wheel and do everything the hard way. And vice versa, if I'm humble enough to reach up, I can receive guidance and support from people who have already climbed sections of the mountain that I have not yet climbed. And so on my journey, I've ended up hiring all kinds of mentors. I have Ironman coaches, and I have nutritionists, and I have spiritual coaches and guides, and I have financial guides and marketing and business guides, and I have all these guides and coaches who have gone before me and accomplished what I want to accomplish. And oftentimes I catch up to my coaches, and then I upgrade to someone else who I haven't caught up with, because it only makes sense to be grabbing the hand of the person who's ahead of you, not someone who's equal or behind you. Not that they're less than you, but that they just can help you get to where you're wanting to go. So hired that coach at that time, discovered my passion and purpose, knew that it had to do with coaching, went through a lot of internal stuff about my self-worth and what it would take to actually make this business successful. Sure, I'd had success before, but this was a whole new model. How do I do that? I don't know how to build the business. I don't know how to structure it. I don't know. What if they don't listen? What if they don't want to hear me? What if they laugh at me? What if no one cares what I have to say? What if I don't have value to add? What if I don't deliver? And all these other fears and doubts and insecurities. And so I finally worked through that. There's a lot of stories, but in the interest of time, I worked through all that, launched the business, and become an instant success. I sit next to a guy on a plane who instantly loves me, puts me on radio, puts me on TV, puts me in front of hundreds and hundreds of people, and I just show up, and I've never been on stage before, and I'm a total introvert. The last place I want to be is on stage. Last place I'd want to be is right here on this call talking to you right now back then. And I was just scared. I didn't know how to be in that position. I didn't know how to manage that much energy. I didn't know how to handle the stories in my head and the judgments that may be happening out there, which most of them were just happening in here. And so I just success overnight. I get on stage, I'm raw, I'm authentic, I'm vulnerable, I look like an idiot in some ways, but people like me because I was so real, and I just provided value, and I wasn't this salesy, gimmicky guy like most people are up there. And success takes off for me, even though there were so many things that were off. I sucked at marketing. I sucked at sales. I didn't know how I was going to fulfill. I didn't know what I was offering. I didn't know how to establish price points or any of that. There was so much overwhelming lack of what I didn't know, and even worse, what I didn't know that I didn't even know that I didn't know. But I just launch and I just go. The same determination I had used in the previous business, just like, this is where I know I'm going. So I just put my head down and went and just kept going and going and going. And I launched that business, launched a coaching business, and that business has evolved and evolved and evolved over the last decade and more. And it's just changed over and over again from as I've changed and evolved and invested back into me and increased my ability to serve others, then I just turned around and offered what I learned and gained to others over and over. And in the beginning, it was deep spiritual healing and emotional and healing traumas from the past, and letting go of all the challenges and the pain and the resentment from the past, and cleaning all that stuff out so that I could just focus on creation instead of wondering whether I was worthy, and carrying all the baggage that seemed to make everything hard. Because at the end of the day, we get preached to a lot about doing the work. Doing the effing work is what they usually say. Do the effing work, except they don't say effing. And, don't be a pussy and all this, like, it's all this in your face. And the challenge is, if people knew most people know partially what they need to do, but they don't do it. And there's a lot of stuff that people don't know they need to do, so it's like shooting in the dark. You're trying to be successful shooting in the dark, the way that took me 12 years to be successful, and I saw others doing it in such a short period of time. So the first steps of my development was realizing that my success was determined by a thermostat setting. My success was determined by what had happened in the early years of my life. My success had been limited by my limiting thoughts, stories, beliefs, paradigms, life approaches, worthiness issues, confidence issues, insecurities, everything that had happened in my childhood from the time I was conceived. There's main developmental stages is how you were conceived, what happened while you were in your mom's womb, the womb, not wound. There are wounds that happen in the womb, even though we don't remember them. How the birth went down. I see all these posts in Limitless Legion. It's probably a bunch of people, and I feel so sad that they're all sitting there like, I can't get in, I can't get in. Sucks. Lack of preparedness on my part. Okay, so in the womb, you know, how that went down, because we're saturated in moms, because the way our psychology works is we think thoughts, which is the electrical portion, and then the plumbing portion, like in your house, there's electrical and plumbing. The plumbing portion is there's a hypothalamus that pumps peptides according to the thoughts that flow down through your bloodstream into your cells and create sensations that we call feelings. And so as the mother thinks thoughts and her hypothalamus pumps out peptides, those flow down through her bloodstream into her umbilical cord, into the baby, and you as the baby received all of these peptides and hormones into your system for 9 months. So everything she believed about men, about women, about relationships, about God, about money, about the economy, about her self-worth, about everything went into you. And I don't care, this isn't just about people who had really tough childhoods, because this is about everybody. In fact, it's just as challenging for a person who thinks they had the perfect childhood, if not worse, because they think there's this tendency to think, what's wrong with me? I come from this perfect family and everything seems so fine, and my mom seems confident and everything seems fine. Well, why can't I seem to just get my act together? And that's just not the case. Bottom line is, if you're human, you had this experience. And you are being held back from your humanity, and you're either going to overcome your brain and your body that limit your infinite spiritual potential, or you're not. And I don't care what your stories are, whether it's I came from a crappy family of abuse and all this ugly stuff, so that's my problem, or I came from a perfect family and I don't know what my problem is. Both of them root back to the same stuff, you just don't know. And it is affecting you. I don't care who you are. If it is affecting you, everybody. I'm working with people right now that are celebrities that have $10 million company that I'm taking to $100 million, and all like massive things, that leaders of the most biggest things in the world. I work with them one-on-one, and these same issues exist in them. I'm doing this very same work with them as I'm doing with you. There's no difference. I've been doing this for a long, long time. It is the same across the board. We all have the same veil, the same experience. Okay, so the first part of my career, I'm going through all of that, clearing out the garbage, clearing out the stuff, the anchors and all the traumas and all the limitations and the insecurities and all that crap, which is the foundation. Because if any of you out there have gone through patterns of success and then burn it to the ground and destroy it and lose it all, and then success and then burn it to the ground, that's part of the patterns. That's part of what you get to clear out so that you can actually stop that cycle and have it be, yeah, you're always going to have ups and downs. I'm not selling you a magic pill. I'm not telling you that you're going to do some magic process and voila, everything's going to be hunky-dory for the rest of your life. That's just not how it works. But you don't have to have a roller coaster where it's just up, down, repeat, 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 repeat. That's what happens when we remain unconscious. That's what happens when we don't wake up and remove ourselves from the matrix and start acting as a conscious being who's creating deliberately versus just being, running off of the conditioned patterns that we adopted and took on in our youth. So the first foundation is cleaning up and realigning all those patterns from the very beginning, from your youth, so that you can be aligned once and for all, have that solid foundation. A way I think about this is, It's like if you never took time to build a foundation, but you wanted to build a skyscraper. So you're building hundreds and hundreds of stories up in the sky with no solid foundation under you. I don't know if you've ever seen them build a skyscraper, but they pour concrete like, I don't know how deep, 20 or 50 feet deep. I don't know. It depends on the height of the skyscraper and all the specs and engineers and all of that. But it's crazy how big those foundations and footings are underneath to be able to make sure that the buildings don't topple. Well, the depth and the solidness of your foundation is what determines how high that skyscraper can go. And if you are a person, you see many people, a lot of people that are in the warrior movement or different things like that want to just A-type personalities, red personalities, guys that act like the macho, egotistical alpha dog. These guys they don't want to go to the depth. They just want to go. They don't want to build the foundation first. They want to build up. They want it to be shiny. They want it to be pretty. They want it to be fancy. They want a lot of attention. They want the glory, but they're not willing to go to the depths. So guys, go to the depths. This is where the foundation is that makes you unshakable. Instead of building on a sandy foundation, you build on a foundation that will stand the test of time. And this all relates to what I'm talking about with the economy. Because if you don't have this foundation, when the shit hits the fan, and I'm going to be talking about the steps of what you'll see coming down the pipe and how it's going to go down, because I've seen it over and over again. When that hits the fan, if you have the foundation, you're going to be the calm in the storm. If you don't have the foundation, you're going to be swept up in the storm. So that's how that relates, and I'm going to go further into that later. So I launched my business, and then later, so in the beginning, I was just helping people to do that stuff, that deep, deep stuff to build that foundation. And then as I continued to expand and do that work for myself, then I started to step up to learning new skill sets and mindsets with business and marketing and sales and systems and all these other things that allowed me to not only bring that heart and that transformation to the table, but also bring tangible results where you make money and you're able to grow your empire and be a powerful steward who's creating bigger and better things in the world and making a larger and larger contribution in people's lives. All right, so that's a bit about my story. Now, basically where I'm at is I've helped thousands of people create amazing relationships, launch massive business success, find themselves their purpose and their passion, gain skills and mindsets that allow them to have that foundation no matter how intense the outside world gets, and on and on and on. So basically, now I'm an Ironman. I do crazy, insane fitness. I eat crazy healthy. I have an incredibly, insanely healthy and strong body. I have an amazing, beautiful wife and family. And I love myself, and I'm solid. I'm not perfect. I'm not putting myself on a pedestal. I'm not saying I have anything that anybody else doesn't have. I no claims to any of that, but I have a great life, and I'm progressing tremendously. And I've tested. I'm a guy who doesn't just take shit for what people say. I don't just read a book and then assume that's true. I test it, and I get my hands dirty, and I see what works and what doesn't work, and then I pass that along. Okay, so in that story, the rest of the story goes, I launched my business, had instant success, started working with high-level investors, launched into the into the investing world, and started investing in everything. I had money in real estate, stocks, futures, bonds, foreign exchange, commodities, equity, private equity holdings, all kinds of different things. And I thought I was a big-time investor. Basically, my clients were very wealthy and well-to-do investors. And I said, hey, I'm teaching you how to be happy, and I'm teaching you how to balance your life and have epic relationships, because you guys have way more money than you have sense, and you're not happy and your lives suck. You just have money. So I'll teach you how to be happy and love your life. You teach me how to make a lot of money as an investor. They're like, all right, deal. So they were paying me good money, and I was making a lot of money and had all the nice things, and we were doing these awesome exchanges in addition to that. And I became what I thought was a big-time investor. And I started making a lot of money on investments. Then 2007, 2008 hits. Not only do I have a thriving coaching business, I have a thriving investment business. And I think I'm king of the world. I got life by the tail. I'm in my early 30s. I've got tens and tens and tens of thousands of dollars a month just flowing in with minimal effort, doing only what I love, and I have every toy you can think of, a beautiful wife. I've got it all. Again, because remember, I'd already had it all once before. I had built again and had it all again. And the first time I lost it was when I was 29. Now I was only early 30s. A few years later, had it all again. And 2007, 2008 hits, and one investment falls. Another investment falls. I probably have, let's just say I had 10 working investments. One falls. I'm like, oh, no big deal. Kind of sucks, but I got all this money from these other 9. I'll just pay for the expenses over here, and we'll see what we can do to redeem this. We're fine. Positive thinking, right? Positive thinking. I love positive thinking, but positive thinking alone will not deliver you. It's like putting frosting on a pile of shit. It still is shit. It just has a thin layer of frosting. Still stinks. Still tastes nasty. It's not beautiful. It sucks. So I lose an investment. I lose another one. Oh, man, that kind of hurts. And another one. Oh, that hurts. And another one. And over the course of the next year, I lose investment after investment after investment, crumbles out from under me and stops paying. And I'm robbing Peter over here to pay Paul over here. And it keeps getting worse and worse. And pretty soon I've got no bandwidth to do anything with my coaching business. All of my time is just spent trying to manage all these investments. And after a year and a few months of giving everything I had, every moment of every day, losing sleep, stressing, straining, doing everything to try to pull all this together and pull it off, I finally exhausted every resource, every dollar, every connection, every business, every opportunity, and I'm exhausted and I'm burned out and I don't know what to do. And after I tried everything in the book, let my passion, so my passion was in coaching. The investing, did I go into investing because I was passionate about it? No. I went into investing because I was a greedy little bastard who wanted more money. Bottom line. And I'll share more lessons on what I learned about that later on. But my passion and my purpose, I let go by the wayside. I thought I would do both and it'd be awesome and I'd have the best of both worlds, and put my passion and purpose by the wayside. Spend a year doing this. This withers and dies because I haven't taken care of it. This withers and dies because of the principles I'll teach you in a minute about what I learned that I did wrong to create all of that, because I wanted to be a victim. I wanted to think that the economy did it to me. I wanted to believe that those bastard investors that I put money with did it to me. I wanted to believe a lot of things that were outside of me and not me. I didn't want to take full responsibility. I wanted to blame things outside of me, because that's what we as humans tend to do before we wake up, is to take responsibility and figure out, how did I create this? We want to blame our ex. We want to blame the economy. We want to blame God. We want to blame life. We want to blame anything and everything outside of us, but not take responsibility and learn what needs to be learned so that we can create a different result. So over the course of that year, I lose everything, business, everything, and I've got nothing. My coaching business is dead, and my confidence is out the window. I'm thinking, basically, I've been through such a hard year that at that point I lost all confidence, and I'm thinking, how can I help anybody? Look at me, I just lost everything. I obviously I don't know what I need to know, or how could I help? Look, I just lost everything. I thought I was a badass before, thought I was all confident and could help people, but how can I help people if I can't even help myself? And so there was no way. I didn't have the confidence required to be able to sell my coaching services because I didn't believe in myself to be able to deliver anymore. I was basically holding myself on a pedestal of, if I'm not perfect and I don't have the answer to everything and my life isn't thriving in every single way in absolute perfection, then I'm not qualified to help anyone do anything else, which wasn't actually true. And that's an important distinguishment for you guys to know, because what qualifies me is that I've overcome the same struggle you're dealing with, right? So say right now I was struggling financially. If I was selling my financial services, that would be out of integrity. If I was saying, yeah, I kick ass, I can help you make money, but I don't have money, not a good idea, out of integrity. But if I'm struggling with money and I'm elite fitness and you're not, and you don't know how to get there, and you've tried but you haven't gotten there, could I sell you elite fitness? Absolutely. Anything that I've overcome, then I know how to help you overcome. And that's where your greatest mess becomes your greatest message. Once you overcome that, then you get to help others do the same, and you get paid to do it if you're willing. So, but I let all that go by the wayside. I filed bankruptcy, and I end up losing everything. Every toy, every car, every fancy everything. All the houses, all the crap, all the real estate, all the investments, just everything. And I'm riding a bicycle, living in an old piece of shit Airstream trailer. Like probably 30 years old, like old. And basically, like it's about as low as you can get. My rent was $400 a month. It was challenging to keep the bugs and the mice out. And it was tough. And my manhood was in question for myself. My ability to provide was in question. My confidence was in question. Everything about me was in question during this time. And this was about probably a 2-year period of just really searching. The good news was massive foundational stuff was happening and taking place during this time, where I was learning to truly be truly be confident in who I really was, not just my bank account or my material possessions or my trophy wife or any of the other shit that egos like to base our self-worth and well-being on. So this massive transformation, because I was awake and willing to learn, was happening, which was the good news. So that it wasn't just another trauma, it was another learning experience and expansion. So I go through this experience, and a couple years into it, I'm like, I've got to start making more money. I've got a lawsuit that just got filed against me. I've got child support that I'm falling behind on, and I have to start making money. I can't keep living in this abyss that I've been in for the last 2 years. And so I go and get a job doing sales. The last thing in the world I wanted to do. I hated sales. And my ego said, hell no, you're way above that. You've accomplished so much. And you've been so many places. That's the last thing for you to do. And intuition said, nope, that's what you get to do. And I'm like, come on, haven't I suffered enough yet? Like, nope, this is what you get to do. So I go do door-to-door sales. One of the hardest things I ever did in my life. Massive breakthroughs in confidence and insecurities and fear of rejection and learning new skill sets. And they taught me a lot of slimy sales techniques and me figuring out, how do I make this authentic? How do I make this integrous? How do I make this heart-centered? How do I make this so that I don't feel like a slime ball, so that I can serve people and bless people's lives and bless my life without having to compromise my integrity or the well-being of anybody, and on and on and on. And ultimately, I become their number one salesperson, number one rookie of the year out of their entire organization, thousands and thousands of people, and make really good money that summer. And it was very hard, but very transformative and very empowering. Then I go and get another job where I'm selling over the phone for a coaching company that sells high-ticket coaching. The main coaching program I end up selling is a $30,000 coaching program, and I learned how to sell that to complete strangers that I cold called And over the course of a couple-hour call, they would say, you know what, this, yes, let's do this. And they would give me their credit card number to a complete stranger that they've never met, that they talked to for 2 hours on the phone, and they would say, here's $30,000, here's my checking information, here's my credit card, take my money. Now, I don't know if you've ever accomplished that, but that's a huge, huge accomplishment for someone who hated sales and didn't know how and had gone through everything that I had gone through and came, all of that. And I ended up becoming number one in that company. And we only had 21 or low 20s amount of people on that team. And I ended up being able to outperform all of that entire team put together. If you put, say, 20 of them together against me, week in and week out, I would outsell all 20 of them put together with 100% integrity, 100% on authenticity and honesty, truly providing value, truly transforming their world, delivering a product that worked. So I learned a lot more about mindsets and skill sets and how to dig myself out of the rut. And during the course of working with that coaching company, I learned they were a business coaching company. So I learned all of their business models and systems and marketing and mindsets and everything to do with all of that. And so one day it clicked. I'm like, I am the most valuable person in this company, literally. I had basically become the right-hand man of the owner. I was the lead trainer. I became the manager of the sales team. I was the number one salesperson. I had changed everything about their entire system and approach. And I was literally the go-to guy, VIP in the company, out of everyone on all levels and all departments. And I realized that I had this depth of this deep foundation that I had learned from freeing myself from the matrix, going so deep spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, health-wise, all of it. And now I had the deep understanding of the money and the marketing and the sales and the business systems. And that with all that combined, I became the prime coach possible in the marketplace. So, but I hadn't had the confidence to do it. But at that point, when it clicked, I'm like, okay, I now know I have what it takes to rock people's world and get them back on course. And I launched my business. And my business has doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled and doubled so many times now. I don't even know how many times. I'm at a point now where I'm charging high-end clients. If they're one-on-one and they're not a large corporation, it's $150,000 a year. So all this not to brag. I want you to see what's possible. I want you to see what's possible for you. I want you to see that money doesn't have to be a long, hard, drawn-out thing. I want you to see that you don't have to sacrifice your life for money. I want you to see that you can do what you love and make a difference and make lots of money. I want you to see that with the right skill sets and mindsets, you can close $150,000 deals. So I'm going to tell you more about what I accomplished and what I've helped others accomplish so that you get it. I care less if you like me. If you all hung up right now and you all gave me the bird and hung up, I don't care. I love you. I've lost enough and I've gained enough, and my foundation is right that I'm not here for your approval. I'm here to serve you, and I'm here to make a difference, and whoever wants to hear and receive and create win-wins with me, and whether you like me or not is none of my business. I'm not here for that. So I'm going to tell you more, though, about what I've been able to accomplish so that you can know what you can accomplish. So people often, solopreneurs, coaches, small business owners, pay me $150,000 a year to work with them. I talk to them for an hour or so on the phone, and they say, here you go, here's $150,000. I have large businesses that pay me millions of dollars. I have small business owners who pay me $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month to work with them in group coaching settings. So I've formulated programs, basically my heart-centered version. All my business coaches said, no, hell no, you can sell big ticket and you work with all these high-level people. Stop working with the low-level people who can't afford the higher prices. Just work with the rich people. And when I check in, every marketing coach and business coach that I've ever worked with pretty much has told me to do that. And every time I check in, Spirit says, no, help everyone. Offer something that helps everyone. Don't leave anyone behind If you've been there and you can help them, help them. Just find a way to make it a win-win so that it works for you and works for them too. So I have offerings on the, not the lowest end. There's a lot of people that offer stuff cheaper than I do. But I have some affordable options. I don't give a shit who you are or where you are. I have an option for you that will help you create what you want. And they range. And to tie this back to how this works for you, you can sell yourself and the things you've overcome and the difference you've made and the business you're running or the business you've been thinking about running, and you can make lots of money. And this ties to where I'm going with the economy, because let me start to talk about what's going to happen, what happens when the economy falls. And I don't know if, I don't know when. I don't like making predictions. I've had a lot of people in my life make a lot of predictions, and a lot of those predictions have been shit. And I don't like conspiracy theories. I don't like scarcity and whoremongers. I don't even know if that's the right word. Like fearmongers. Yeah, fearmongers. Like I don't like all that stuff. But I do like to be prepared. Let me take a drink real quick. My throat's getting dry. Okay. If the economy does what it did last time and what it's done in the past, here's what you're going to see. The TV is going to start blabbing about it. Oh, the economy, the markets did this, the markets did that. Number one, take your TV, go to Home Depot, buy a sledgehammer, go to your local gun store, buy a gun, whatever, go buy some dynamite, whatever the hell you got to do, and blow that shit up. Your TV is retarded. It's programming you to waste time and be stupid and be slow and be foggy and be confused and be in fear and occupy your mind, and your mind automatically starts thinking what a scary, ugly, dark, lonely, hard place this life is. Think about it. Your TV, if we didn't have TV, even if we had the same amount of disasters and struggles we have in the world without TV, they would be happening on all countries, on all fronts, all over the world, but you wouldn't know anything about it. And so you just think life was normal. But because we have TV all across the world, you see every disaster and every catastrophe and every stupid thing that happens, and pretty soon you start to think this world is a miserable, ugly place full of miserable, ugly people. And then, like, you're seeing an inaccurate version of what life actually is. The truth is, all people at the core of who they are amazing people. They're God's children. They're beautiful. Their heart, their essence is love. It's goodness. Many people have forgotten that and gotten lost, and they don't love themselves. Therefore, they don't know how to love others. Therefore, they do stupid things that hurt others, because they don't know we're all one, and that when you hurt someone else, it hurts you, and it makes the world an ugly place. But the world isn't as ugly as we see on the news. In fact, statistics, if you get past all the shit, show we have less crime in the world than we've ever had. Crime has decreased percentage-wise, per capita, continually over the last decades. There's all kinds of good things happening. Yeah, there's all kinds of shit happening, and there's lots of good things happening. So destroy your TV. Tip number one. You'll get plenty of information that actually matters just by, like, I get my information on Facebook. Basically, anyone who is constantly posting negativity or victim shit or stuck in a rut and not really producing or a positive contribution to the world, if they are constantly putting shit on my wall, I delete them. I send them with love. I send them with best wishes. I know that we're always connected. I know that they're my brother or sister, and I delete them. I don't stop loving them. I don't stop liking them. I don't stop sending prayers and blessings to them and wishing the best for them, but I don't choose to have cancer in my world. If you have cancer in your body, you don't just hope it goes away. You get rid of the shit so that you can continue to live a happy, healthy environment. So same thing with my external world. Your environment is a critical piece of your success. So I alleviate those people. So now what comes through my news feed? Positive, constructive, productive, creative, goodness, constantly. And I receive information enough, the perfect amount of information about major events that happen in the world in perfect time from positive people who have a positive outlook and aren't just on Facebook to stir drama and argue with each other and be at war, because humans tend to be addicted to war. Okay, so first thing they're going to do is start sending a lot of propaganda. And people will try to sell you to put money here, put money there, and they will start, the whole consensus will be hold on to your money. The whole human condition is grab everything you've got and hold on tight, because we've got to brace ourselves for a rough ride. That is what makes the economy suck. That is what will make your economy suck. Let me explain how this works. Let's say one of you is a car dealer, a yoga instructor, a coach, an arms dealer, a boat dealer, anything, whatever service you offer. And if everyone all of a sudden believes, oh, the economy is going to shit, hold on to what you've got. Hold on to your money. Stop spending. So the car dealer stops selling cars because people are afraid they won't have money and it's a tight time. And then he stops buying boats. And so the boat dealer goes broke and the car dealer goes broke. And then houses stop selling and then house makers go broke. And then they stop buying massages, so the massage therapist goes broke. And the massage therapist stops buying energy healing, so the energy healer goes broke. And the energy healer stops buying organic food, so the organic produce goes broke, and like whatever, down the line, everyone goes broke because everyone got into scarcity. If you fall into the sheep mentality, you will go into that pattern with everybody else. Now, I want you to consider this. More people became millionaires during the Great Depression than any other time in history. Pay attention to what I just said. More people became millionaires during the Great Depression than in any other time in history. During the Great Depression, the worst economic time ever, more people became millionaires during the Great Depression than any other time in recorded history. Why? Because there was more need than ever before. So here's some of the problems that you run into. So first off, if you have a job and you think you're secure, you are so damn up in the night, it's insane. If you think having a job for a good company makes you secure, think again. They can abandon your ass so fast you won't even know what hit you. And there will be, if this economy does what it's predicted to do, massive banks, a lot of massive banks will tank. And just behind them, a lot of other businesses will tank. Mortgage businesses, home building businesses, just dominoes down the line. Tank. Any business that is no longer offering a service that is rendered needed in the marketplace will tank. If it's considered a commodity, like an extra, if it's considered I don't need that, it was nice to have, it will tank. If you're like competing on anything, if you've been offering any service that the market is going to render, or if your business that you've been working for is offering a service or a product that the market deems that they don't need, if they're weighing in their mind, do I put diapers on my baby, food on the table, or buy my fourth car? What are they going to choose? If it's about survival, putting a roof over my family's head, eating, and putting gas in the car, or buy a camper trailer or a boat, or even a massage, or a diamond ring, or any damn thing that is considered no longer a need in the market. Because bottom line, the market's been going this way. It's like, oh yeah, we're all heading this way. And the market's going to go, arch! And it's going to make a 90-degree turn. And if you don't anticipate, where is this market going? What are people going to be needing? And how can I provide the solution to that? You're screwed. Like one of the simplest examples, back in Utah, I grew up in Utah. Back in the old days, they didn't make, so nowadays we have cars that climb hills and we fly up them, and they have nice cooling systems that keep the engines cooled off, and we don't ever think about it much unless you have an old crappy car, then it overheats, right? I grew up driving crappy cars that overheated. Now I drive the nicest cars in the world and we don't ever worry about overheating. But back in the day, all cars had overheating problems. They just didn't have the advanced cooling systems we have today. So back in Utah, there's this old pass that goes between St. George, Utah. Before, there's this gorge that they blasted so you can have this shorter path. But if you want to go to Vegas from St. George, you had to go up over this old, windy, steep hill. And there's a guy that got rich off this because he knew that every car that climbed that hill was going to overheat. And so he invented this, he set up shop right there at the bottom of the hill. I don't even know how he did it. I think it might have been gunny sack full of water. He'd fill these gunny sacks or whatever full of water, drape it over the radiator of the car, so it'd leak this cool water down on the radiator that would cool off the rest of the hot water, and it would last just enough to get them up the hill. Then they could take the gunny sack off, and they'd be able to climb the whole hill without ruining their car. And it was way back when. And they paid him a nickel or a quarter or whatever it was, which it means it was a lot more than that in today's money, right? And the guy became rich off of it. And this is one example of a million of anyone providing a solution to a problem. So if you stop thinking of yourself as a nurse or a mom or an accessory salesman or a person who has a solid job, all that is bullshit. And you start thinking of yourself as, I am a person who is awake and aware enough to see problems in the world. And I know that if I can solve those problems for other people, they will pay me to do it. And so instead of calling myself a massage therapist or a mom or an accessory provider or whatever title you've given yourself, begin to think of yourself as a solutions provider. Begin to think of yourself as a problem solver. So begin to think of yourself as, I'm a person who identifies problems that people are struggling with in the world, developing solutions for those problems, and then creating a win-win exchange with those people so that we both leave better off. And when you start thinking that way, and not just think that way, but then align with it, build products and services that provide the solutions to the problems that people are willing to pay for, you will always thrive. I don't care what the economy does. Even if the economy completely collapsed and the dollar system was no longer worth anything. If we all ran to the mountains and we're living in the mountains and we were trading like sticks and firewood and food and water and survival, the basic needs of survival. If you had this mentality, my job is to look around me, discover what people's problems are, and provide solutions. You could offer a special package. We could package it right now. Hey man, I found this great way to gather sticks and build a dwelling. It's kind of a combo of a teepee and a house. I figured out how to build it really good and really fast and efficient. And I also found a source of water. And I also give really great massages. And I'm funny. I give great comedic relief. So I'm doing a package deal. I'll help you get firewood. I'll help you get food. I'll help you get water. And I'll give you a comedy show and a massage. What do you have? What do you have? Oh, well, I found how to capture rabbits. Oh, you got rabbit meat? I don't have that. That sounds good. Oh, you got a flint and stone, you can actually light the fire. I don't have that. That'd be awesome. Oh, you have a water filter that, you know, whatever the hell it is, if we all showed up and we focused on what can I bring to the table, what can I do to provide value? What can I do to solve people's problems that they're willing to exchange with me for? Then we will thrive. If you're not currently making the money you want to make, that means you're not currently providing the value that the marketplace requires for you to make what you want to make. If you have a job and you're making whatever it is you're making, you're just trading time for money. And if you're making $20 an hour, what you're saying is, I value my time at less than $20 an hour. I value the $20 more than I value that hour. That means that I'm going to get kind of rude and crass for a minute here. That means you're such a whore that for $20 an hour, if you're working for $20 an hour, you're saying, I'm willing to whore my life out for $20 an hour. I'm willing to not be with my family. I'm willing to not be with my loved ones. I'm willing to not be connecting with my creator. I'm willing to not be fulfilling my passion and purpose. I'm willing to do anything. I'm willing to not do anything that actually matters to me as long as you'll give me $20 an hour. It's seriously that bad. And we've been programmed to think it's normal to have a job. So no security there. So do not allow yourself to believe there's security in having the job. Now, in your business, if you're currently offering, if you're an employee, my recommendation, figure out why you're here on the planet. Figure out what your passion and purpose is. Figure out what would fulfill you. Figure out what you would do whether you got paid or not. Figure out what you love doing so much that you lose track of time when you're doing it, that you would never want to retire from it, that it would fulfill you in and of itself with or without a paycheck. And that also solves the problem in the marketplace that people are willing to pay for. And figure out how to package something around that. And if you do have a job, I'm not saying quit your job tomorrow. For some of you, that may be the ideal solution. If that doesn't feel like the ideal solution, my advice is start building your passion-based business on the side in your spare time. Yes, it's going to be hard because you're going to work full-time. You're going to be with your loved ones and yourself. You're going to recover, and you're going to have to be building a business on the side. What does this mean? You're going to have to eat healthy. You're going to have to meditate. You're going to have to exercise. Otherwise, you're not going to have the energy. You're going to need too much sleep. You're going to be too foggy. You're not going to have the motivation or the self-discipline or the self-respect or the self-love or the personal empowerment to pull it off, and you won't make it. So if you have a job, get help, discover your passion and purpose, get in a place of power, build your business on the side so that you can replace your job and set your own security and build a business that in the new economy, think about where are people's going to be. 95% of people are still a part of the matrix. They're asleep and they follow. They have a herd mentality. They will be caught up in scarcity and lack and doubt and insecurity and fear. And what struggles will they be dealing with? And how can you help alleviate their pain? How can you help solve their problem? And how can you tie your product or service to their need? So one of our people on here, you offer, I can see you up in the corner here of my screen, you offer like sheaths, knife sheaths and gun sheaths and accessories and things like that. If you sit back and just hope the business comes in, it's not going to. Mm-hmm. If you pray and hope and be a nice guy and hope little old ladies across the street, business isn't working. But if you take your business and make it relatable to the current issues and start your marketing speaking to that demographic. Are you speaking to a person who hates guns and knives? No. You're speaking to people who love guns and knives. but you want to associate your business to the current need in the marketplace. So just like the post I made that said, hey guys, the Titanic may be sinking. The post that got you on this call, that's the same marketing you need to be doing in your business right now. It's like, look guys, shit's gonna hit the fan. Or no, don't make any claims you can't back up. Look guys, shit might hit the fan. There's a lot of indicators saying that it is going to hit the fan. And if it does hit the fan, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but what I can tell you is it's possible that the apocalypse is going to happen. It's possible that zombies are going to come out. It's possible that it's possible that all kinds of ugly shit is going to happen. So be prepared. And here's our whole list of products that'll help you do exactly that. You need to be on that shit today. Like, you need to be social media, Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, every social media platform, email list, marketing campaigns, video campaigns, everything you know to do in relation to marketing. Get your shit out there, like marketing, and relating it to the current issues so that people see you as a need, not as an extra. If they're seeing you as, oh yeah, I could do without a sheath, I could do without another gun case, whatever, then they're not going to buy you. You got to help them see that if they're not prepared, theirs and their family's life might be on the line. Now, some of you on the call might hate guns. Whatever that is, we're not in a political conversation here. This guy's in the gun business. He probably likes guns. That's his business. If you don't, that's your business. But if you're in the gun business, be smart about being in the gun business. If you're in the anti-gun business, I can teach you how to run that campaign too. I'm not teaching about what's right or wrong. I'm teaching about how to prepare yourself so that you can not sink with the rest of the Titanic. Okay, so if you're an employee, launch business. Figure out your passion and purpose. Figure out how to launch it. Learn the skill sets and the mindsets. Get yourself in an environment that will allow you to be successful. Build that shit out. If you are in your own business already, think about what shifts are going to happen in the marketplace and how do I need to align with that. And think about marketing messages, a lot of that. Let me give you an example. Burger King and McDonald's, and I don't promote I do promote healthy eating. I don't promote fast food in these shitty restaurants, but this is a powerful example. McDonald's, and by the way, your diet is a critical piece to keeping your mindset on course. If you want to not get caught up in the scarcity and the fear and all the shit that the rest of the world's going to be consumed with, eat clean as you possibly can. The more vegetables and fruits and the more organic and pesticide-free, hormone-free, antibiotic-free, all the bullshit, the cleaner the better. It's going to help your mind be clear so that you see through the fog when everyone else is caught up in the bullshit. If you're watching TV, drinking soda, and eating shitty food, don't wonder why you're fat and slow and stupid. And I don't mean that rudely, but seriously, like, it affects your brain. It slows you down. It fogs you up. It's part of, I don't know if someone's doing it on purpose or if we're just, like, if it's just happening, but it's an ugly cycle that gets us stuck where we're not in our ultimate power, not even close. And it will be a massive contributor to you sinking. So sort through your environments and your food and your nutrition and your exercise and all these things that are critical to keeping you in place of power so that you don't get caught up in self-doubt and fear and be swallowed with the tide. The person who has the power to have the storm come in and the tornado passes by and they're so solid in their power, connected with their source, aligned, inspired, and here they can take on whatever comes and be present and handle it. The person who's like, oh no, are we going to make it? Oh, I'm so scared. Maybe, oh, what if we lose it all? You're already lost. You already lost because you're in fight or flight response. You can't even think straight. You're in survival mode. Einstein said no problem can be solved in the same state in which it was created. If you don't get the ability to stay in power in the present moment, sorry, I love you. I'll see you on the other side of this. It's gonna suck for you. It's gonna be very ugly and hard for you, and you may very well lose everything if you don't have the skill sets and mindsets to stay in power and make the necessary adjustments. Plan on a very, very, very rough and ugly ride. So on the marketing front, as a business owner, so first off, make sure that you have a product or service that actually provides a need that will help people if everyone's in scarcity. If everyone's tight on money and everyone's grabbed their money and they're thinking, am I going to buy diapers, food, pay my rent, and put gas in the car, and pay my car payment and my phone bill, like my basic needs just to keep functioning, then what? What do you need to offer that they'll actually say, they'll actually question whether to pay the phone bill or pay you? Right? You got to put yourself on that plane that after they've met just their basic needs, that they're going to pay you. What do you got to offer? What product or service or solution to their problems are you going to offer that will allow them to be willing to pay you for that? So Lydia Heston, you're offering a marketing service. If you think scarcity and you're like, oh no, I just quit my job and I just launched my own business and oh, what if I don't succeed? No, those thoughts aren't going to help you. But if you think, listen, this is the perfect time for me to go in business. There's so many stories, like Richard Branson launched Virgin Airlines when everyone in the world said, oh, all the airlines are struggling, don't do that. He's like, yeah, that's why it's the perfect time to go in the airline business, because I can buy in cheap and I know how to run a business smart and I will make it successful. Okay, so Lydia, you've got a brilliant business model. It is low cost, low overhead. It's you providing value through what you've got between your ears. It makes a difference in people's lives. And you can do it from home, and you already have all the tools and resources to do it. You're on the perfect track. Here's the deal. Connect it to their problem. So what does Lydia do? Great plug for Lydia. Didn't know I was going to do this, but great plug for Lydia. Lydia does Twitter. It's like she markets other people's businesses on Twitter. She will market your business for you on Twitter, so that you can be doing what you do that makes you money while she brings you in more clients to make you more money. Smart person to hire in a situation like this. You can go buy another Big Mac and another piece of crap, whatever thing that you don't need, or you can invest in Lydia and frickin' grow your business. When other businesses are sinking, your business is becoming more relevant because you're solving the problem. Because if people, you might have the best business, you might have the best product or service, but if you're not marketing it and getting it in front of your customers, it doesn't matter. Hope and pray all you want, you're going broke. So marketing is critical, and you can do marketing and sales with 100% integrity, 100% authenticity, and 100% focus on true value, not just selling people shit they don't need. So Lydia, your business is perfect. Your marketing message needs to be, listen guys, you'll make more money by focusing on the other parts of your business that you shine at while allowing me to do your Twitter marketing for you. It's easy, it's effective, it's quick, it's cost effective, well worth the money, because it'll bring you in substantially more money than you're going to pay out, because I bring you qualified leads with this proven system. And it brings you in way more than it costs you. So it's not a cost. It's not an expense. It's an investment that yields you more than you pay for it. You would be an idiot not to do it. That's the message you get them to get. And along these same lines, hey guys, sure, the economy is going down, but your economy doesn't have to if you're prepared and handle it effectively. Now's the time to go double down on marketing your business and getting the word out about how your product or service solves a problem in the marketplace, that's why you must hire me to get that marketing done for you.
Hey, Lydia, call me when this is over. You just sold me.
And guys, feel free to type in your names on and any of those connections you want to make with each other on the chat here, so that you can connect after the call on Facebook. If you're not already connected, reach out and connect. Don't hope, don't pray. It's time to stop gambling. One of the biggest things I learned when I lost my ass in 2007, 2008 was that I wasn't an investor, I was a gambler. And that was a big pill to swallow. I'll tell you more about why that was the case. Maybe if I wasn't in the middle, am I in the middle of a thought or no? So I was giving examples of making sure your product or service meets the market where it is, not where it was. So if you're like, I'm a real estate agent, boom, real estate stops selling, and now you're like, I used to be rich, but then the economy fell. No, you used to be rich, and your victim mentality didn't prepare and take a proactive approach to switch what you were offering in the marketplace. You identified yourself as a real estate person, and when the market no longer required real estate agents because supply and demand shifted, you kept saying still, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a real estate agent, and you prayed and you hoped and you watched The Secret 18 million times and you did everything in your power to try to manifest what you wanted, but it just didn't come because you didn't align with the principles that predicate the blessing you desire. But knowing better, and everything I just said is pure gold, because that's not shit I studied from a book. That's stuff that came to me when I lost my ass and I took responsibility. I said, how did I create this? Smart people know that the market shifts. Smart people know that they need to provide a value that the market can't afford not to pay for. Smart people adjust with the market. And when they're really smart, they adjust before the market even turns. That's why we're on this frickin' call right now, because I'm here to help you guys adjust before the market turns instead of waiting until it does turn. So let's talk about investments for a minute. And because this ties back to me being a gambler versus an investor. Well, let me tell you this. If you have a 401k, horrible choice. If you have money in stocks, so wait, I am not a financial advisor. I probably better do a disclaimer here. I'm not a financial advisor. You might lose your ass if you do what I tell you to do. I'm not a registered agent in any form with financial advisory in any way. As far as you know, I'm a complete idiot who's just blabbing at the mouth and knows nothing. But here's my experience. Hopefully that's enough of a disclaimer that no victims will ever watch this and blame me for their choices that didn't work out. So, no, I was saying something else, so let me finish that thought. I do not condone, based on my limited experience and information and certifications in this realm, I do not support or encourage you to invest in anything or leave your money in anything that has to do with the stock market, Forex, bonds, futures, 401k, any retirement plan, any of that. Now, if you did choose to withdraw money from any of those things, there's penalties involved, and there's a lot of things associated, so you need to do your due diligence. If you need resources, you can ask me. I have people that are brilliant in those areas that handle that stuff for me. There are ways to minimize what you pay out in fees and fines, which is stupid in the first place. If you knew the information about, like, you gave them your money and now they're fining you to take your money back. That's how stupid those deals are. And on and on. We don't have time for me to go into depth about that. But here's the bottom line. If you don't have passion over your investment, it's not an investment. If you don't have influence over your investment, it's not an investment, it's a gamble. If you don't have control over your investment, it is not an investment, it's a gamble. Passion, influence, and control. You must have all three of these, or it's not an investment. So let me give an example. You could say, well, I have passion about Apple products. I love Apple products. I'm so passionate about Apple products. Okay, that's awesome. So now you think you're going to go invest in Apple stocks. Well, do you have influence and control over what's going to happen with Apple stocks? Hell no, you don't. So you have no business investing in Apple stocks. You don't know if the next iPhone they come out with is complete sucks. You don't know if Steve Jobs is going to die and stuff's going to tank. You don't know if new leadership, there's so many things out of your control in anything like that, if you think that like even the guys that think they know how to control or trade on the markets because they learned some system to trade and buy, it's a zero-sums game. It's where I'm on one end of my computer betting this is going to go up, and you're on your end, on the other end. We don't know each other, and you're betting this is going to go down. We both bet. It's literally like placing red and black on a frickin' roulette table and seeing what happens. And it's just, and there's no actual value being added to the marketplace in these systems. All your 401ks, everything that has to do with these types of investments, it's not adding more value to the world. It's just hoping that you can put your money out there randomly and betting that someone else is going to manage your money better than you can and turn that into something more for you. So my unprofessional, unsolicited, don't trust it, I'm probably a total idiot who knows nothing, advice is find a way to get your money out of that shit and pour it into what you have passion, influence, and control over. So that you're being a creator, not a victim. You're not hoping, you're not wishing, you're not putting it in someone else's hands. You're taking responsibility for your own financial future. Invest in your business. Invest in you. Invest in your marketing. Invest in your mindsets and your skill sets. Invest in whatever it's going to take to help you do what you do and be successful at it instead of having a backdoor plan B. Like go all in instead of betting. You're like, well, I don't trust myself to be successful in my business, so I'm going to bet on Joe who sold me this really, what seemed like a great idea of an investment. Seriously? Like go all in on you. So from an investment standpoint, they're gonna sell you all kinds of things about do this, do that. So your investment advisor, leave your money in. Why? Because if you pull your money out, he loses his ass. Other people will sell you, invest over here. Why? Because if you invest with them instead of where you're currently at, they're gonna make a bank. Put it in you. Invest it in you. Invest in your business. Build a business. Create an environment with the skill sets, the mindsets, the support you need so that you can be successful making the difference you came to make. We're not here to get a job and pay the bills. That was a bullshit myth that was formulated during the Industrial Revolution when some smart people launched some big companies and needed a lot of employees and put 401ks and other incentives in place and started teaching you in elementary school how to be really good employees, to stand in line, do what you were told, be a good citizen, and get a good job, get a good education, and do what the F you're told. We're meant for more than this, people. Every single one of us. Every single one of you is destined for greatness. Every single one of you has a message or a product or a service or a solution or something that is of tremendous value. You have a mission and a purpose that your creator, I don't care if you're atheist, I don't care who you are, there was something that created you, and I don't care what you call it. And even if you're atheist, let's even talk to the atheist. Even if there's nothing that created you and by chance somehow you're here, by hell, if working a job like a hamster, paying the bills and barely living and then die, seriously, that's all you're going to get out of this? How about create a product or service that's so epic that that it makes a difference in people's lives and you feel some joy around that, and you make a lot of money doing it and you get to fulfill every dream you ever had in your world? How about that? And if you do believe in a creator of any sort, I don't care what your word is, whether it's universe, we'll probably have some new age people on here. I love all of you. I believe all of it. I believe all of it. I just say, whatever it is, let's choose the highest and best and goodness, and all the truth will be revealed in due time. So if we build a business that makes a difference and blesses people's lives, we get to feel fulfilled every day, every moment. And we get to make money and have choices. We get to live a life of choice instead of scarcity. If you haven't listened to the book or read it, I tend to listen to books rather than read them. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. He says it's tremendous. It's deep. It's heavy. It's powerful. It's amazing. Some of the best work in the world. It's one of the best books I've ever read. And he says, he talks in Christian terms. He's like, let's just say God and devil for a minute. And if you're not Christian or believe in any of that, just think good and bad or light and dark or however you get to frame it for yourself. The best way the devil could control you is to get you into scarcity, your primal survival part of your brain. Fight or flight. If he wants to control you, get you in that space. So if he can get you to eat crappy, smoke cigarettes, drink alcohol, and not have self-discipline to follow through and not believe in yourself, you will be constantly in scarcity about your survival, and you will constantly sell yourself out. And instead of being the powerful creator you were meant to be, making the difference you were meant to make in this world, you will instead just pass your life paying the bills, being a part of the matrix, not making a difference, not liberating anybody, you just be another nothing, status quo, just came and lived and died and didn't fulfill your purpose. Because you were scared people would reject you. You were scared. You wasn't willing to get the skill sets and the mindsets and make the commitment to do what it took to launch your stuff. Out of fear, doubt, and insecurity. And meanwhile, you were controlled your entire life by one little part of your reptilian brain that kept you in fight or flight every day about whether you were going to survive or not. We are meant for so much more than survival. But if you don't learn the skill sets and the mindsets and create the environment, you're just going to spend your entire life in survival, and then you're going to die. And then you'll look your maker in the eye and he'll be like, hey, I thought you were going to make that difference you promised me you're going to make before you left. Oh, yeah, sorry about that. I got caught up making money. And I was preaching all the time that money didn't matter and that it was evil. But I was spending my whole life earning it. I know that's ironic. Oh, and on top of that, I was really scared about what people would think of me if I were to offer my products or services. I mean, I was nervous they might reject me or they might disapprove of me. And so I got scared, so I didn't offer it. Seriously? That's what you call life? Okay, enough of my soapbox. So investments, passion, influence, control. If you have all three of those, it's an investment. If not, it's a gamble. If you discover your passion and your purpose, you build your own business around it, you will have passion, you will have influence, and you will have control. It will be a true investment. Now, beneath that, human life, there's some core principles that determine your success. One is dollars follow value. These are critical. Everyone always wants to teach you strategies. if you're on any other effing call that anyone's advertising right now about how to alleviate this, they'd be trying to sell you some shit like, buy my real estate investment strategy, buy this strategy, buy this technique, buy this strategy. No, this is principles that are true whether the market is up or the market is down. These are the natural laws that govern the universe that are true today, tomorrow, the next day, next month, next year, next century. They're always true, no matter what people do, no matter what's happening outside of you. So number one, dollars follow value. When you align with these principles, you will prosper. If you're not aligned with these principles, you will not prosper. I don't care how much you pray. I don't care how much you hope. I don't care how much you visualize. I don't care how many seances you do, or drum circles, or energy work, or anything. I don't care how many times you go to church. I don't care how many times you watch The Secret. I don't care how many affirmations you repeat. If you don't align with these principles, you will not thrive. You will not flourish. You will not prosper. Period. Try as you might. You can attend 100 more breakthrough seminars and workshops. You can read 1,000 more books. You can listen to 1,000 more podcasts and attend 1,000 more of these trainings. If you don't align with these principles, it's not going to happen. So number one, dollars follow value. Now, that's a partially limited statement. Why? Because dollars are just a description of our American currency. And currency could take a complete flop and it might not describe anything. So if we went to the purer form of that, it'd be value follows value. But if I said value followed value, you wouldn't piece the two together. So I get to present it both ways. Value follows value, dollars follow value. In the current market, we use dollars. So we're going to speak in dollars. Back in the day, they used to trade cacao, which is the raw form of chocolate. That's what we use for money. And they used to even use stones and gold and silver and all kinds of different things we've used throughout the year. Now we use paper. I like to keep a wad. Probably not a good idea to tell the world, but I like to keep wads of cash around just to like, one, just to have options if I need it, and two, to just be like, oh, because I used to be so scarce around money. Now I just like, I put wads of cash everywhere just so that I'm just like, there's money everywhere. So that it makes in my mind, I like to give it away a lot. I help a lot of people out just so that, so I just like, I put money all over. It's kind of dangerous, but I don't know if this is a good idea, but I put money all over my house, all over the place. They're just wads everywhere. So that someone's now going to track me down. They know where to go. So like, I love when I give money away, then it tells instead of fight or flight, it's like, I have plenty. That's why the law of tithing is true. Whether you're a religious person or not. I actually don't go to church. You hear me say all these religious quotes. I don't go to any church almost ever. Like once in a while, just for the experience of it. But like I tithe all the time. I'm always giving to projects and people that I care about. Even when I'm go through tight times or I'm not, I'm like, nope, there's always plenty. I keep wads of cash everywhere. And I pay out and I help and I contribute so that my mind always thinks there's plenty. It shifts me from that fight or flight. So there's times when I make $300,000. My best week this year, I did $300,000 in 1 week. There's other times when I'm like so caught up for 2-3 months, I'm running Ironman and going to seal this deal and doing this and doing that. And I'm so caught up building all these new projects that I don't do I do just the basic marketing to provide value, but I don't offer anything. I don't sell anything. I go months at a time without making any money. So sometimes I'll bump up against where sometimes I'm like, oh, I got so much money, I'll never have to worry about money again. Other times I'm like, oh shit, we're starting to spend our savings. We better start making some more money. But during those times, my mind starts to slip into scarcity again. Like, oh no, we're spending savings. And that's why I like to keep those wads of cash around. I like to keep giving because I tip really high. I'm probably the highest tipper in the world. Like I like to give a lot away because it keeps it flowing and helps me feel like there's plenty. Keeps me in that prosperous mindset that I'm giving and flowing, because money wants to flow. It doesn't want to be stagnant. If you tend to just grab onto money, then it's like water. If I took this water and left it in this cup untreated, it's going to become gross and mildewy. It's meant to flow. It's meant to serve. It's meant to be of value. Money and all things. If you have shit sitting around your house that isn't serving the world, get rid of it. Give it away. Sell it. Clean up your shit. Clean up your space. Clean up anything that's not of service. Get rid of it. Move it. Get it out of your space. Allow everything in your world to be of service. Like I was raised with hoarding mentality. Keep everything. You might need it someday. Nowadays, everything in my house has a meaning. Everything in my house has a purpose. We've literally given away and sold and everything that we don't use regularly. Even my attic. There's not shit sitting in my attic just randomly. The only stuff in my attic and storage spaces is like out in my garage. I have these storage bins, and it's like, oh, we do camping in the summer, so this is where our camping stuff goes. We do holiday stuff in the holiday season, so that goes in the attic. So if we're going to use it over and over consistently, we keep it. If not, buy. Old clothes. Someone else. It'll serve someone else. We give it away. We sell it. We keep stuff flowing. Seriously, guys, listen to Outwitting the Devil. Buy it, listen to it, whatever, immediately. If there was a second book I wanted to recommend on this, it would be The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. The Big Leap is going to support you in raising your thermostat setting of how good you can handle it. And it's going to help you grasp aligning with your passion and purpose. Outwitting the Devil is going to help you break through a lot of mindsets that keep you stuck and thinking small, and help you see how the best thing the adversary, if you want to call it that, could do, or your ego or negativity or darkness or your smallness, or to me, all that's the same thing. It's just described differently. So the best thing that could do to you would be to have you be in fear and doubt and insecurity and scarcity, so that you make decisions from those places. So that you choose, I see my brother Nate on the call. I see he's in a semi, I think, right? Are you in a semi? Yeah. So if Nate truly knew this, so Nate probably makes good money driving his awesome semi, doing what he does, and he helps a lot of people in a lot of ways. But if Nate has massive knowledge about health and nutrition and sustainability and aquaponics, and he loves growing food, and he's probably more of a farmer than a trucker and all these things. But because Nate has these things I'm telling you about he doesn't know marketing, he doesn't know sales, he doesn't trust himself to launch his passion-based business, or maybe he has all that, but he's working at it slowly and he's saving the money to get there. Or I don't know for sure what's holding him back. I'm making a lot of assumptions and I could be completely wrong. But the point is, if Nate was truly aligned with his passion and purpose, he wouldn't be driving that damn truck right now. He would be at home with his wife and kids tonight, because he's probably in another state, a day and a half away from his family, and probably spends several weeks a month away from his family, and probably drives long-ass hours home every week or 2 or 3 or 4 to connect with his family for a few days, and his whole effing life is a sacrifice, not doing what he loves, trying to stay positive, keeping his nose to the grind, working hard, doing all the shit required to pay his effing bills and support his wife and kids, and he's trading his life for it. And if he died tomorrow and looked his maker in the eye, he wouldn't be able to tell his maker, I fulfilled my passion and purpose and made the difference I was here to make in the world. And the things that are keeping him from doing that is he doesn't have either the confidence, and it's probably a combination, doesn't believe in himself enough to launch his own business. He believes that he doesn't have the money, but he already has the idea. I don't know if anything's changed since we last talked, Nate, but last I knew, your passion and purpose was to launch like this greenhouse thing where you're growing with aquaponics and offering this healthy, quality food to the world. Well, if the economy collapses, what will people need? What's one of the main things people are going to buy first? A house? Food? Diapers. And if they can't afford diapers, they're going to choose your food before diapers because they can take a damn towel and bobby pin that shit up on the baby. And they're going to like we're going to use, they'll go to cloth diapers. Like, you know what? I actually had cloth diapers when I was young. Either that means I'm old or that means we were old school or something. But like, if it comes down to we're going to eat or we're going to buy diapers, they're going to choose eat. And so, Nate, if you believed in yourself and your abilities and you were like, you know what? Screw this. I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going all in on me. I know I'm going to pull this off. I commit. And I'm going to go to commitment in a little while because commitment is the number one thing that determines your success or not. 9 people out of 10 know that they need to eat right and exercise, but they don't do it. 9 out of 10 people, business owners, know they need to market and sell and systematize and do all these things, but they don't do it. It's the same thing that gave me the ability. I used to be the worst person at follow through. That's why I didn't believe in myself. That's why I didn't trust myself. That's why I couldn't sell anybody anything, because I didn't trust myself to deliver or follow through. I didn't trust myself to withstand the storms that came. I thought I would cripple in the face of the adversity because that was my pattern. Why do I do Ironman? I don't even frickin' love Ironman. I don't love cycling. I don't love running. Well, I've kind of learned to love them in some twisted ways. Swimming, all of it. But the reason why I took on Ironman was to master this 6 inches right here so that I could effing follow through on things. So that I could count on myself, to believe in myself, to do what I say I would do. The journey to Ironman and the other crazy things not crazy, kind of crazy, but just cool and intense and hard and challenging things that I've accomplished in my life, it's not important that I do Ironman. What's important is that it's helped me to master my flesh, my temptations, my distractions, my inability to follow through. That's what's important about Ironman. And so, Nate, if you had that, if you knew, if you had the confidence that I'm going to commit 100% and I'm going to provide this value and this service, and you knew and you figured out the marketing plan and the sales system and the business systems to make sure, and the business plan to make sure that it was going to be profitable, to make sure that there was a need in the marketplace, to make sure that you had people to buy the product that you were offering, to make sure that you were 100% committed to that, and it was a feasible idea that would be profitable, that would solve a problem in the marketplace that you would love doing. If you knew all those things and you had the proper support to launch those things, you would go meet. You have a guy within frickin' probably 5 blocks of your house. I know him by name. I know other people that I coach that have gone to him who has funded their business, and you would have funding next effing week. If you wasn't scared of being rejected, if you wasn't scared of failure, if you knew whatever, all the layers to it. So my doorbell just rang. I have date night in like a half hour here, and I think it might be the sitter coming over, and my wife's not home yet. So let me run down, check the doorbell, and see if that's them and get them settled. I'll be right back. Invite you guys to breathe. If you want to chat or converse, I'll be right back.
This is really interesting and fun, don't you think? This is Amanda, by the way, on the phone line.
I really like how he's bringing the pieces of really aligning. How did he put it? Aligning your passion, I don't don't have it all in front of me, but I did make a note about it. So it's like aligning your passion along with what has value. And I've heard that before, but what I'm realizing is that in hearing it this way, it's like bringing a different depth to it.
That's awesome. Who is speaking? Because I can't see.
Sorry, I'm on the phone line as well. This is Teresa.
Oh, who is this? Teresa, hi. Okay, good. It's nice to hear your voice.
For a Skype session.
All right, guys, I'm back.
Yeah.
It wasn't the sitter, so we might have another one of those in a little while. All right, so, and I shared, Nate, not to pick on you or single you out. I'm just trying to give examples for all of you so that you can see how this applies to you. You know, Mandy, I don't know what's your, Amanda, I don't know if you go by Mandy or Amanda. I know you as Mandy, but I don't know what your passion and purpose is. I don't know what you discovered or what direction you're heading in. Jody, you and I have had this conversation. You know what you're doing. But anyway, just getting aligned, guys. If you're aligned, you will thrive. Okay, so principles of prosperity. Dollars follow value, or value follows value. Exchange creates wealth. Exchange creates wealth, because if you provide value but you don't create exchange, neither of us end up better off because of it. So when you think and judge sales and resist doing sales, because here's the deal, guys. We resist sales because we've all walked into a used car salesman or somewhere else where they tried to pressure us into sales and we felt violated, and we carry negative energy around that, and so now we don't want to be that guy. So don't. Offer a product that truly solves someone's problem. Have an authentic conversation, discover what their problem is, and say, look, I have the solution. It's that effing simple. That's what sales is. Saying, hey, I notice you seem to be dealing with cancer. I just want to let you know I have the cure for cancer. Would you like to create an exchange with me? It's not evil. In fact, I made a video once saying sales may be the most virtuous thing we can do in the world. One of the most ugly things we could do in the world would be to have the cure for cancer or the solution to people's problems and not offer it because we're too insecure and too scared of being rejected. That's one of the most unvirtuous things we could possibly do. It's like a total waste of human potential. Total waste of everything you've been given. If you've ever heard of the parable of the talents, that's exactly it. You've been given talents, and instead of utilizing them, you're fricking off chasing squirrels, chasing money like I did, instead of doing what you came to do. Okay, so next principle. Human life value is the source and creator of all property value. Human life value is the source and creator of all property value. What does this mean? I'm going to put it in simple terms now. The money that you're wanting in your bank account, the wads of cash that you're wanting sitting around, the car that you're wanting, the house that you're wanting, the retirement account that you're wanting, all of the, so what did I say? Human life value is the source and creator of all property value. So the property value portion of that is all of that, your money, your things, your assets, your businesses, all of that. That's your property value. So what's the human life value? That's the portion, that's your knowledge, your connections, your resources, your skill sets, your mindsets, your anything you got, your relationships. So I'm not promoting Donald Trump. You may love him, you may hate him, you may be indifferent to him. I don't care. Point being, Donald Trump's been bankrupt multiple times. A year later, Donald Trump is rich. In fact, he probably doesn't even stop being rich. It's like, okay, bankrupt, launching this, creating, and he doesn't go into the instability of the mental game because he just doesn't, he's maybe it's because he's an arrogant, self-centered prick. That could be. It could be because he just has gained some confidence. Whatever your interpretation of him is, I don't know and I don't care. But bottom line is, he doesn't fall apart about it. He just goes, all right, that sucked. Dusts himself off, rolls up his sleeves, and calls someone and says, hey, my credit's screwed right now. And you're like, well, I don't have the money. I don't have the credit. I got a great idea, but I don't have the money or the credit. Donald Trump doesn't sit around and make that excuse. Never hear him say, yeah, I wanted to be rich, but I didn't have the money or the credit. I had a great idea. I just didn't have the money or the credit. No. His credit could be shot from just filing bankruptcy. He calls his buddy. He's like, hey, Tom, got this deal. It's going to be a huge deal. This is how it works. Here's the numbers. This is why you want to be involved, because this is what's in it for you. Are you in or out? It's either you or Jim. I'm calling Jim next. I wanted to give you the chance first. All right, let's meet. Boom, they have a meeting. He shows them more details, answers the questions, and Tom, or whoever the hell I was talking about, invests. No credit, no nothing. He has knowledge, so human life value. He had the knowledge to formulate the deal, to make it profitable, to offer a product or service that was needed in the marketplace, and he had the relationship and the confidence to exercise the conversation in the relationship to generate the funding. It don't matter if Donald Trump filed bankruptcy 100 times and he had zero credit. He has credit with people. So every person in the world is always only one idea or one relationship away from prosperity. One idea or one relationship away. If your current business, it might be that you just add another product or service. It might be that you shift the direction of like half of what you're doing may work. You just switch things over and offer something a little differently. Okay, so so one more principle, then I want to share an example of what I was going to share earlier about McDonald's and Burger King. So the last principle is things are not assets. People are. People are assets. Things are not. What does this mean? This means is every dollar you will ever get is going to come from someone else. Your car's not going to give you any money. Your house isn't going to give you any money. Your business location isn't going to give you any money. People are. And so if you don't have negotiation skills and relationship skills and communication skills and confidence skills and all this stuff going for you, and you don't have relationships that you're strategically providing value to, the biggest deals I have are not because of my marketing. Indirectly they are, because my marketing helped me close small deals to put money on the table to prove my success, to help other people on certain levels, which helped me gain a brand, which then helped me help bigger people. And then bigger people referred me to bigger people. And now, because of the relationship, so like some of my biggest deals right now, the deal that I told you about, there's a company. So if you guys have watched the movie Jerry Maguire, show me the money. The guy that movie was made after, the agent that Tom Cruise played, that was made after a real life guy who became the #1 most successful sports agent of all time. Well, that sports agent is now a client of mine. $10 million business, we're taking to $100 million. The only reason why I have that client is because there's another client of mine who knows him and knew him personally, and they had a trust relationship. I knew that guy. I didn't know anything about that guy other than the movie. And I have provided so much value to this other guy in his life that he connected me with this guy, and he connected the dots. He's like, holy cow, this guy needs what this guy has. So he synced us up in an email. We met sat down to dinner together, the three of us. Later scheduled another appointment in his office. Later, and I just had a call with him earlier today and whatever, so it evolved. So the point being is making deposits in relationships. People are assets. Seeing them, so don't invest in outside investments. Don't invest in the things that you think are assets out there. Invest in people. What can you do to improve people's lives? What can you do? Who can you connect them with? What can you teach them? What can you share with them? What's knowledge? What resources? What skills? What abilities? Waving to Mandy's kids. Hi, Mandy's kids. So I made enough deposits in that dude's life that it brought me in a multi-million-dollar deal. Indirectly. So be thinking deposits. Whose lives can I, who would I, so no matter who you're talking to, they're listening through a filter called What's in It for Me? WIIFM. Think of it as a radio station. You know how radio stations, all the FM radio stations end in FM? WIIFM. What's in it for me? That's what everyone's listening for. The only reason why you guys are on this call is because I wrote compelling copy on a Facebook post that convinced you that it'd be worth your time and energy to be on this call with me so that you could get what you wanted. I didn't talk about how great I was. I didn't say, hey guys, I'm the smartest person ever. I'm so cool. I'm so awesome. You should listen to me. You'd be like, whatever, dude. I don't give a shit how smart you think you are, you arrogant prick. You didn't come here because I bragged about me. You came here because I spoke to a problem that you wanted to address. I spoke about what was in it for you. Very strategically. Does my heart care about people? Absolutely. Do I offer products and services that actually solve people's problems? Absolutely. Was I strategic about how I wrote that post so that you would be here? You're damn straight I was. Because I don't gamble. I don't hope and pray. I do pray. I do hope. But I don't do that alone. I also use strategy and technique and principle all combined so that it works. And what am I doing here? Why am I here? Did I take this time? I could have been doing anything else in the world. I could have been having sex with my amazing wife. I could have been spending time with my beautiful children. I could have been hiking a mountain or sitting on the beach or anything else in the world. Anything I want. I could hop on a plane and fly wherever I want right now. Why did I choose to be on this call? One, because I care about people in the world and making a difference. Two, because if I want to succeed in life, what did I teach you? Value follows value. I didn't get on here and say, give me money and then I'll teach you. I got on and said, let me give you some value. It'd be like telling a tomato seed, hey, give me a tomato plant and then I'll give you some water. Isn't that how it works? I'll plant you, I'll water you, I'll cultivate you, I'll protect you, I'll nurture you, and I'll repeat that cycle every day, day in and day out for a long, long time, and then you will give me tomatoes. And I'm not telling you this for my sake, I'm telling this for your sake. I'm exposing what I'm doing so that you can know what to do. Think, how can I provide value first? If you're not using social media, if you're on Facebook to chat, wasting your time. I do not get on Facebook to socialize with family and friends. Period. I'm on Facebook to make a difference. Period. If you're not using social media in today's world and you're not being very strategic about your marketing, you're gambling. If you're not investing constantly in your mindsets and skill sets, books, audios, podcasts, coaching, training, systems, marketing, sales, you're gambling. You're shooting in the dark. You're doing what I did, like 12 years of struggle and suffering to hopefully maybe make it through if the economy don't wipe your ass out first. All right, so Do anything you can to surround yourself. So when we talk about the struggles with all the scarcity and propaganda, turn off your TV, clear out your Facebook wall, alleviate anybody and everything that's not feeding the goodness, and surround yourself with as many positive, constructive, productive creators as possible. Get yourself in a network and a community who knows what you're going through, who's going through the same thing, and can help keep you in that positive mindset. Here's the difference. You take an acorn, some of you probably heard me say this before, I'm going to say it again. 2 acorns, equivalent value. Plant one in my backyard in fertile soil with an automated watering system, perfect conditions. The potential of that acorn is to be a 200-foot tall, towering oak. Take its sister acorn that's just as good, same capacity, same abilities, same potential, pound it down in the crack in my front yard in the asphalt and see what happens. Pray for it, hope for it, whatever. But back here, it's getting soil and nutrients and everything it needs. Up here, if it happens to blow enough dust over it to create favorable conditions, and it happens to rain before it dries out and gets too hot, and then it sprouts, and then no one happens to drive over it, the street sweeper doesn't kill it, or any of those other things, then it might grow into something, but we all know it's not going to happen. It's going to be destroyed. Every time it may try once and die, it may try 3, 4, 5 times and die. This is you if you don't put yourself in the right environment. You try to take on the storm of just growing a business in an epic economy without having the right people around you, good luck. The right mindsets and skill sets and people around you, good luck. Let alone in a challenged and struggling economy. So the things to think about. Put yourself in the right environment. Invest in your brain, your skill sets. Invest in your mindsets. Mindsets being the things that keep you in a positive, powerful presence. Some of the things you can do for this are daily meditation, daily study, daily exercise, daily healthy eating for beginners. Aside from that, surround yourself with as many positive people going on the same journey as possible so that you have that support and guidance. The good news about the upcoming possible challenges in the economy is that means just like in the Great Depression, there's more problems than ever in people's lives. There's more problems to solve. That means there's more opportunities for you to provide solutions. So don't look at it as, oh no, there's a scarcity coming. Oh, no, that means there's lots of opportunities coming, more than ever. And the whole world's going to be in chaos. And the far majority of people are going to be caught up in the illusion and the matrix and all the crap. And I'm going to be, with my head clear, in a place of power, standing there with the solutions. I'm going to have the gunny sack of water because I've got the foresight. I think someone's knocking. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Thanks for waiting. So mindsets you're going to want are the ability to stay in the calm no matter what shit hits the fan, no matter how crazy people get, that you have the ability to shift from what I call drifting, anything that takes you out of ease and flow, and shift to a place of power, of presence, of joy, of peace, of connection, of inspiration, of positivity, of strength. So mastering that ability is one of the most important things you can do in life in a good or struggling economy, so that when everyone else and everything else is crazy, you're the calm in the storm. Being focused on contributing versus being a part of the problem. Many people will be a part of the problem. When you get caught up in the fear, you're just part of the problem. Be the solution, not the problem. If you're not solving it, you're part of the problem. If you're caught up in the fear, you're part of the problem. You're feeding it, participating in it, in the game, in any way, you're part of the problem. One of the number one things you can do to get yourself through and have that solid foundation I've been talking about is there's deep inner work that can be done. That's my most passionate thing. I love the marketing. I love the sales. I love the business. I love the systems. I love the skill sets and the approaches and the principles and all the things. One of my favoriteest things, though, that matters most, because when I was asking myself, I said, if dollars follow value, then that likely means that the more value I provide, the more value I receive. And then I asked myself, then what's the most valuable thing I can offer? And it took me a while, months and months and months to inquire into these things. And when I looked, it said, don't just offer money or cars or fancy material things. Offer something that matters, that when someone's on their deathbed, or when someone's passed to the other side, that you've influenced their eternal well-being. And so then I asked, well, what if I could find a way to help people accomplish what they wanted materially while also accomplishing what they wanted spiritually? And if I could help people to accomplish both those things at the same time, that would be the ultimate value. And so that's how I've structured everything that I do, is how do I, and here's my premise. If, back to the religion / spirituality conversation and Christ. Christ said, love your neighbor as yourself. Again, if you're not Christian, don't take this shit personal. I could say it 100 other ways so that you wouldn't throw this out, but just want to keep it simple because we're going over on time. Christ said, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, the truth is, you can only love your neighbor to the degree that you love yourself. So if you only love yourself at a level 2, on a scale of 1 to 10, you only love your neighbor at a level 2, because everything you hate about you, you will hate about them, and you'll project on them. And then if you only love yourself at a level 2, God could be loving you at a level 10, or your spouse could be loving you at a level 10, but because you only love yourself at a level 2, you can only receive a level 2. So the degree that you love yourself is the degree that you can give and receive love. And if the eternities, or heaven, or the next realm, or whatever you want to call it, is affected by what happens in this realm and what our choices are here, I believe that we're not going to get heaven based on how much we suffered here. I believe we get heaven by how much we learn to create heaven here in the midst of the chaos. Now that might be right, that might be wrong. And I don't care if I'm right or wrong. Point is, it makes a lot of sense, no matter how I look at it, to learn to truly love myself and to be happy and to be of service. If I can generate true happiness and true peace, and truly live a life of service and help people to create what they want in this life and the next, by helping them to learn to love themselves and heal their childhood traumas and discover their passion and purpose and make that difference in the world, what else is there? So find in your products, that's me, that's what I'm up to, that's what I love helping people with. Find your products and services in some way. How are you going to make it do the same in your own way? Some of the skills you're going to want to be able to pull all this off Yes, that personal power. Yes, there's some work you get to do to build that foundation I talked about. And some of the skill sets you're going to want to learn is communication skills. You're going to want to learn how to generate creative solutions when the market shifts and just solve problems. You're going to want to learn negotiation skills, critical skills, sales skills, marketing skills, systems skills, business skills, and product development skills. Environment, I can't overstress the importance of your environment. Now, here's the deal. If you're 99% committed, it's no better than being 50% committed. If I was 99% committed to Ironman, that would mean I would go, so Ironman, if you don't know, 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile cycle, 26.2 mile run, back to back to back with no breaks. Just 16 hours for me, straight. Get up 4 o'clock in the morning, pack my shit, get everything set up and perfect. Hop in the ocean, swim 2.4 miles, run out, throw my swim stuff off, throw my bike gear on, cycle 112 miles for 8 hours, get back, throw my shit off, throw some new stuff on, go run 26 miles, 16 hours later with no breaks. So if I was 99% committed, I would go through all of that. And out of the 146.5 miles, 99% of that's like 140 miles and then stop. That means that, and it's not about me just being 100% committed on the day of the race. It's about me being 100% committed every single day to have the capacity to do the race, because if I show up 99% committed today and tomorrow and the next day, I'm only going to have 99% to give on race day. So the first step in every meaningful journey in life is commitment, period. Period. The first step in anything great you're ever going to accomplish in your life is commitment. Whether it be weight loss, whether it be getting healthy, whether it be being happy, whether it be making money, whether it be fulfilling your purpose, whether it be being an amazing mom, whether it be making your business successful, whatever it is that you want to create, commitment is the first step. I can't even get up out of this chair. I don't have to say I commit to getting out of this chair, but commitment is the act of getting up and pointing myself in a direction. So in order to stand up, I had to commit. The act of committing is the act of pointing in a direction and going. So I want each of you to check in right now. One of the last things I can do to empower you is to assist you in getting committed. Nate, if you don't create a solid game plan and get committed to it, you're going to be a hamster your entire life, and then one day you're going to be old and you're going to die. And this is true of all of you. If you guys don't commit 100% to making your businesses absolutely thrive and align in your lives, not going to happen. Positive thinking won't deliver you. Hopefulness won't deliver you. Being a good person won't deliver you. You have to commit 100% and then figure out, what do I get to align with? What principles, what governing natural laws, you call laws of the universe, laws of God, laws of nature, whatever the hell you want to call them. There are laws that govern how a tomato seed becomes a tomato plant that becomes a whole bunch of tomatoes. And you've either learned those laws and aligned with them, or you keep shooting in the dark and hoping that someday maybe your train will come in. Sorry to say, but the train doesn't usually come in. And if for some reason you get lucky enough to win the lottery, most people end up worse off than they were when they began. And So literally right now, if we took all the money in the world and we distributed it equally amongst everyone in the world, within a year, it'd be right back where it came from. And that's because of this human life value. You either invest in new skill sets and mindsets and environments, or you continue to struggle with the same shit you've been struggling with all along. So commitment. Who's willing right now? Check in. See, are you willing to commit to your success? I'm not selling anything right now. I'm selling you on committing to yourself, to fulfilling your purpose, fulfilling your mission, to accomplishing your goals, to being successful in your business, to claiming your voice, to embracing your creativity, to committing to your power, to committing to staying in your power when all shit hits the fan and everyone else goes into chaos and scarcity, to committing to providing value. Think of what do you get to commit to is what I'm wanting you to do. You might even make a list. What all do I get to commit to? Now here's the deal. You can know what you're currently committed to based on the results that you currently have. If you're single, that's because you're committed to being single. If you're married, that's because you're committed to being married. If your relationship sucks, that's because you're committed to having your relationship suck. If you're broke, that's because you're currently committed to being broke. I know those are hard pills to swallow. I know you don't want to hear that shit. I know people would rather pay me to tell them jolly good things to help them feel good. But I don't just sell people magic pills. I sell the truth. So your current results are what you are unconsciously committed to. Everyone take a breath. Shit gets heavy. Why the hell would I commit to being broke? What do you mean I'm committed to struggling and suffering and being lonely and sick and Notice your sensations. You might have tightness in your neck. You might feel angry. You might have heaviness in your chest and your throat, or tightness in your jaw, or wrenching in your stomach. You might have all sorts of feelings and sensations and thoughts and stories happening. I see all your body language. Yes, I'm a body language expert. And yes, I watch you all the whole time. It gives me cues and feedback and inspiration about what gets to be said. That's why I chose this platform rather than the Google Hangout, because I could get more people on video. I thought I could get more than this. Apparently I have to upgrade. So breathe. Breathe and allow those feelings to flow through you. Don't think there's something wrong with that. I'm not judging your feelings. I'm not judging your experience. I'm just aware of it, and I'm inviting you to breathe and be with it and allow it to flow through you so you can stay in a place of power, so you can continue to receive the information needed to get you in a place and keep you in a place of power to create what you want. And while I say this shit that's ugly that you don't want to hear, or parts of you don't want to hear, do what you can to breathe and move and stay in flow. Because when your body gets rigid, your brain gets rigid, and then when this is locked in a pattern, then this gets locked in a pattern, and then you can't hear, and then you can't solve the problem because you're locked in a state. And like I said earlier, Einstein said no problem can be solved from the same state in which it was created. So we must shift your state. Thus, I took a minute to invite you to breathe and move. A quick shift in state. Okay, so you can know what you're currently committed to unconsciously. You wouldn't do it on purpose. No one would purposely choose to be sick. No one would purposely choose to be broke. No one would purposely choose to struggle or be lonely or anything that hurts. But subconsciously, if our thermostat setting is set low, or our worthiness is set low, or our skill sets and mindsets and whatever conditioning as children or whatever, those developmental stages we talked about are still affecting us in the background. We don't know why it seems so hard. And it's frustrating because you look at some people and it seems so easy for them. And for you, you bust your ass day in and day out, and it feels like the damn anchors are down. And that's because of that stuff. Who here has seen my marketing of The Purge? My upcoming deep dive training. The whole reason for that is this. Those developmental stages, the first 6 years of your life, have set your thermostat of how good you can stand life, how much money you can make, how good you can handle your relationships, all those things. And if you don't clear, it's shit you can't even remember. A therapist can't bring you there. And 95% of coaches can't and or won't bring you there. Because it's not sexy, it's not pretty, and people want to buy shit that's sexy and pretty. People typically don't want to buy. Normal people don't want to buy deep dive, go in and face your ugly, scary shit. What do they want to buy? Hey, I want to make a bunch of money and be sexy and skinny and rich and sit on the beach. That's what people want to buy. All my marketing coaches tell me, sell them what they want. What does my heart tell me? Do the best you can to find a way to influence them to buy what you know they need by helping them see that what they need will help them get what they want. You want epic relationships, you want money, you want peace, you want joy, you want prosperity, you want love, you want epic sex, you want deep spiritual meaning and purpose, you want your life to mean something, you want to make a significant contribution to the world, you want to meet your maker or die and have it all mean something. Whatever, pretty much everyone has those universal wants on some level. But if you don't align with the principles that predicate those blessings, you don't get it. And one of those principles is commitment. First step, commitment. So if you want, one powerful step would be write down, based on results, what are you currently committed to? In your relationships, in your health, in your money, in your business, in your spirituality, in your sense of fulfillment and purpose and joy and significance and contribution. I don't know if I left anything out. The four main ones I usually focus on are your relationships, your health, your finances, and your spirituality. But bottom line is, look at every aspect of your life and see, based on results, what am I currently committed to? I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but it's a critical pill. And then when you say, I'm not going to be a victim, not to the economy, not to life, not to my beliefs, not to my parents, not to my childhood, not to the past, not to my exes or my past relationships or any traumas or any stories or anything outside of me whatsoever. I will not be a victim to anything. I take 100% responsibility for creating my life that is aligned with my highest values on all levels. I'm not telling you guys what's right or wrong. I'm not telling you what to believe in. I'm not telling you what to create. I'm saying figure out what the hell you stand for and what you feel and believe is right. And frickin' get aligned with it. Quit hoping and praying and wishing and waiting. It's not about it being delivered to you. It's about you creating it. Welfare never made anyone rich. That didn't take, maybe someone was broke and got on welfare long enough to get on their feet. And then they created being rich because of aligning with the other principles. But any handout that says, oh, I wish I would win the lottery, I wish someone would discover me. No. The journey is what transforms you into the powerful person that can create value in the world any day, anytime, anyhow, and you will never be scared about money again. You'll never be scared about the economy again. Your mind will never be controlled by outside factors, adversity, the the adversary, darkness, fear, ego, all that other crap, whatever you want to call it, it won't be controlled by that again. Once you gain the capacity and the knowledge and the skill sets and the relationships and all those things, as quick and easy as Donald Trump goes broke and then launches again, you have that same ability. And I'm not saying he does it, I'm not condoning anything other than if you do it with integrity, if you say, okay, I want that, but I want to do it with 100% integrity, 100% authenticity, provide true value, all win-win, 100% win-win agreements and exchanges with everybody. I do nothing dishonest and I hurt nobody ever. Good. Those are the same things I align with. That's what I think is critical for sustainable success. And it can be done. I'm living proof and my clients are living proof. So, action item you can do, write down what you're currently committed to. Second list, what do you want to commit to? And then commit to it. Commit to those things. I commit to creating the relationship I want. I commit to creating the business that I want. I commit to thriving. I commit to living a life of choice. I commit to fulfilling my purpose and my passion, my mission. I commit to being a source of light and love and goodness in the world. I commit to discovering my true nature. I commit to cleaning out my crap so I can be the greatest, most honest, most authentic version. Because one of the other things, I don't know if you guys all follow me closely, but none of us are 100% authentic. We're just like, that's an evolution in progress. We're just, anyone that wants to sit right here in my position and claim that they got it all figured out or they're the answer, or nobody is. None of us are. I'm not anyone's answer. I'm a guy that can help certain people go from one place to another place, and that's it. And that's just in certain areas that I've done for myself. That's all. Nothing more special. We all have every ability and right, and we are meant for greatness. Your DNA, your coding, your design, you're created for greatness. It's just a matter of if you'll align or not. So here's the deal. I don't do high pressure sales. I don't do high pressure marketing. I do like to offer solutions. I'm doing the purge coming up. It's for sure going to happen. We've got 60 something people who said they're in. I have secured, just today, we secured the location. It's going to be a 4-day event. We're going to go in and clear out the crap inside that makes shit hard for you. It's available. I'm not going to pitch you on it right now. If you're sick of struggling and doing it the hard way and you're ready to clear that out so that you get the spiritual, the physical, the mental, the financial benefits, message me. Like seriously, if you're scared about money, if you're scared about whatever, all the other excuses can be overcome, and the money, I'll frickin' work it out with you. This is more important to me to offer this than it is to make a bunch of money off of it. If you feel called to participate, reach out. We'll find a way to create a win-win. I'm way less concerned about the money than I am to offering this to you. Second thing, I have a women's group that my wife and Anjali are definitely launching. It's specifically, yes, it's ultra powerful, and it's for women, and it's for moms, and it's for staying in a place of power. I'm making this much more affordable. So one of the smart things you do, so it's smart for me. I already have the heart that wants to serve everybody. The challenge for me has been giving it all away. And then, in the beginning, my biggest problem was like giving it all away and then being broke and then being angry at God because I was broke. And then learning to, charge well for my services. So I mentioned all the high dollar stuff that I sell. That's all cool. And it's neat that I've been able to create that. but it's also important to me to help everybody. So there's a woman's thing that we'll be launching soon. You'll see more about that. If it calls to you, just participate and engage and reach out accordingly. You don't need to do that now. If you do have a business or you're wanting to launch a business, I have group coaching programs that are thebomb.com. Like, there's nothing better out there to help you move through your shit, be held accountable. It's can be hard because you're going to be held accountable. You're going to have to face your shit. You're going to be breaking through your limiting stories and beliefs. You're going to get guidance and strategy and principles, and it's an ongoing every day. And you're going to be surrounded by other people that don't let you off the hook and keep you on course and all this stuff. So it's not the path for people who want to make excuses and who want to stay stuck and stay small and keep blaming it on everything else outside of them. Don't reach out if that's you. So those are the basic offerings. And bottom line, I want to help people. So if you feel like I could help you in any of these ways, you might want to attend the live event, reach out. You might want group online coaching, because the group makes it more affordable, because I can serve, 8, we break those into 8-person segments. So I can serve 8 people at a time on the accountability calls, and then I combine those on a training call that I meet with consistently, just like this, for a shorter amount of time, and we empower people. So you have accountability and breakthrough and the environments and the skill sets and all the stuff required for success that I've discovered after all these years, like a decade and a half or more of what it takes to be successful. Well, it's actually been multiple decades of running my own businesses, but a decade and a half of the deep inner work and real transformation and discovering how to get others to be successful. So for all of that, like, if you're called to participate in any of those things, reach out to me. If not, thank you for being here. It's an honor to serve you and meet you here in this place and share the gifts that I've been given to help bless you. Don't buy into the fear. Don't leave yourself shooting in the dark. Do invest in yourself, believe in yourself, align with your passion and purpose. And if you're not sure your passion and purpose, or you're not sure how to bring that to the marketplace, those are some of my greatest skills. Literally within an hour, I can have you clear on why you're here, what you're meant to offer. And within another hour, I can have your packaging designed like, oh, if you structure it this way and price it this way and do this, boom, 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 boom. I've done this so many times for so many businesses, and it took me so many years to work through it myself. If you guys want to build out your business plan, if you want to build out your packaging and your pricing, one of the worst things you can do is spend a year developing your branding and your logo and your message and all your stuff, and then launch it to market and discover that the market isn't willing to pay you for it. Those are typically actual distractions where you're too afraid to launch, and so you're distracting yourself. You think you're being productive. But in all that year that you spent building out your message and your product and your service, I seriously could have helped you do that in a matter of a few hours. And then we could go to work on the real stuff, which is helping you to really take the action and commit and be accountable and break through your crap so that you'll actually do what's required. And then guiding you so that you're not stuck doing the wrong things that aren't going to get you the results. So that's it. No hard pitch, but I offer solutions. I provide solutions to people's problems, and you guys are here for a reason. And keep participating in Limitless Legion. When you do watch the trainings, please engage and share with everyone else what you got from it. I spent a lot of time and energy and money. I've lost millions upon millions of dollars and spent many, many sleepless nights and sacrificed my health and well-being and relationships with my children. And I've gone through absolute hell. Like I said in the beginning, I almost died over this stuff. And I'm sharing the very best of what I've got, as real and raw and valuable as I know how to be, for free. And so, the best thing you can do is create win-win exchange so that you can capitalize on that. You can bless me for blessing you, and I can bless you more. So thank you so much for joining me here. Reach out. Let's get you rolling one way or the other, here, there, somehow. Let's figure out what's win-win for us to help you win and create what you want. Thank you. Have an amazing rest of the day.